In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a couple of really cute and fun little Valentine's DIYs. If you want to learn how to do it, well, then stick with me. What's up, Glue Dots? I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter, and love is in the air. It's Valentine's Day. Well, almost Valentine's Day. So right now we're working on a couple Valentine's crafts that are really cute, and I think you're gonna really like them. One is an adorable little pillow, and the other one a storage trinket, various things box. How's that sound? Anyway, before we get to those projects, I would love it if you join our Glue Dot family by hitting the subscribe button right down below there, and don't forget to hit the bell next to it so you know when I upload new videos. Also, I hope that you will look down in the description box where you will find information on how you can enter to win a cute little bling owl keychain, and I do that drawing once a month, the first of the month, as well as other important information like what we need for this project, how to get in touch with me, and anything else I need to let you guys know. Don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know what you think of my videos, and a thumbs up would be fabulous. So I think right now what we need to do is let's get to this project. All right, gang, so we are trying this one together. Let's see how it goes. I've never actually done it on a pillow that's already a pillow. I usually do it first and then stuff it, but we're gonna give this a try and see how it works out. So what we're gonna be doing is you're gonna take each one of your ribbons. You need several different ones. Well, you don't need several different ones. You can decide how many different ones you want, but what we're gonna be doing is gluing them across the top, and we're gonna be creating a weave pattern. So you're going to want to glue it right up there against the seam and all the way at the edge, just like that. So it's to this seam and to that top seam. And then I'm going to leave a little bit extra, but just cut it off at the bottom. Leave a little extra so it follows around the curve of your pillow. And then we're going to just be alternating the ribbons, doing the same thing until we get the whole pillow covered. They have some really cute ribbons right now at Dollar Tree, right now for Valentine's, but they also, you know, year round, you can get some real cute ribbons. So you're going to butt that one up pretty much right next to the other one, just like that, and keep going along. But you can do this with different widths of ribbon. They don't have to be all the same width. It just happened that this is what the ribbons that I liked. I thought these were really cute, all of them, and they were all Valentine-y. So I decided to go with these instead of doing any bigger ones, but it's up to you, whatever you like for your project. And then you go back to the same pattern again and just keep going. And you're going to do this until the whole pillow is covered. I think I already said that, but I can't remember. You know, that's crafter's brain. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. And then sometimes I stop in between recording and then I don't remember what I've already said. So hopefully you guys, you get me. Okay, so once you've got them all going across on the one side, it's going to look like this. So the bottoms are not glued on yet, and we're going to go do this exact same thing. Pick the side that you want, whatever side, pick the other opposing side, and we're going to start the same process, covering the whole pillow, going the opposite way. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be weaving these together. Do you guys remember doing little weaving things when you were kids? I'm going to prop this up against something just so that I don't have to keep lifting it and putting it down and lifting it and putting it down. And then I also cut my ribbon strands ahead, which makes it a little quicker instead of stopping in between and cutting. Okay, so what happens when you get to the last one up under here, you're not going to be able to put the same number of them across the other side as you did on this side, but that's okay, not to worry. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to start weaving. So we're going to put every other one up. Okay, Then we're going to put one down and then put these back down. Then we're going to be going with the next one. So you're going to now put the opposing ones up. I mean, this is pretty basic, but I'm just showing you as I go along how I'm doing it. And then put your next one under. And flip those back down. And as we go along, it's going to start turning into this woven pattern like that. I'm going to just keep working my way across and finish out my pillow. So as soon as you get a couple of these done, you can actually go through and glue down the ones that are on this end here. That'll help you sort of keep things a little more firm and have your hands free. So we have our two ends with the ribbon, and then at the bottom you can start gluing. Pull it, into place, get it positioned as best you can, and then go ahead and glue this one down. Now the bottom of this pillow doesn't have a seam, so just kind of making my own. So now I have my hands free and I can continue on with the pattern I was doing. Now there's all different colors of these pillows at Dollar Tree. Just pick whatever you like. I liked this gold one because I knew that part of it may be showing through, and that way I figured at least with it being gold, it would look good. So if you can find one, I didn't find any red or pink or anything like that. So that's why I just chose the gold one. So make sure as you're going along, you're kind of adjusting accordingly and looking at it, making sure you're not going down. I'm ever so slightly starting to go downward, so you got to keep an eye on that. And just keep keeping on. Just watch where you're going there. So I finished, I got my last ribbon in over here, and now all I'm going to do is go through and glue these ribbons down that are still loose, and then we're going to be trimming a little bit. So you can, however that's easiest for you, just go through and add a little bit of glue on the back side of your ribbon and attach it down to the end of your pillow, just kind of like you've been doing, but this is our finishing touch here. This is a good opportunity when you're gluing down the one that's above to kind of push that final ribbon down so it doesn't slide over the edge. I'm kind of using my top seam line as a guide, and I'm putting my glue right there just below that seam line and then putting down my ribbon. So the bottom ribbon doesn't really, when it's underneath, it doesn't really hold this one, but your top one will hold it. So it's good to use that line as a guide there. Once you have all your sides glued, you're just going to go through and trim. Now the one side that didn't have a seam is going to be a little bit shaky, so you can do your best to get a straight line on that. And then the other side you should be able to follow right along where your seam line is. Be careful when you cut your extra ribbon pieces that you don't cut your pillow, so it's best to go from the back side. At this point, see if there's any little loose little spaces that need some extra glue in there. You can add that in there and press that down. And then the tricky side, what you want to do is just, again, go from the back side and use whatever your first ribbon is sort of as a guide to keep everything as if you're just cutting one long piece, so you can have a nice straight line. So my top part's not quite as nice and even as my other one was, but that's okay. If they love you as much as you love them with all these hearts, they won't care. Okay, so if you would like at this point, you can take some kind of trim, or if you want to take a piece of ribbon and go around, you can do that. I'm not going to. If you wanted to put tassels on this, I would suggest you would glue them in at an angle before you start gluing your ribbon down, and then that way there'll be cute little tassels hanging off on the ends. But here's one of our projects, and let's move on to the next one. Okay, are you guys ready to get this party started? So the first thing we're going to be doing is choosing one of our wood, doesn't matter, one of our little wood boxes, and we're going to be taking 4 cubes and gluing 1 cube to each of the bottom corners. And these are going to be our little legs for our, oh, what do you call it? That thing. For our little drawer stand. So it's going to be just like that. Next, we're going to be attaching the other 2 just by gluing them on top. So stacking them and gluing one on top of the next so that it'll be 3 tall. So this is what we have so far. So one of my fabulous glue dots, and this is why I love you guys, you come up with such great ideas, because this has a hole and we won't be able to put the handle on it because of the hole, what she suggested was turning it around, which was genius. It's the simplest thing sometimes that you just don't think about. Turning it around so that we have actually a flat surface. So I love that. Thank you so much. Now what we're going to do is take 3 more cubes, and we're going to be using those 3 cubes to make the little drawer handle. So find center and glue on your drawer handle. So far, pretty easy. The next thing we're going to be doing is painting this. Now you can spray paint it if you'd like, or if you are one who likes to use chalk paint, you can use, a lot of people use the Waverly chalk paints. For those of you who don't want to buy any chalk paint or would like to be able to make your own in various colors, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just using an old container from chocolate. Of course, I love my chocolate. Life is just, it's not doable without chocolate. So in order to make your own chalk paint, you can pick any, I picked up this from, I don't know, the hardware store, whatever, but you can use any color you want. You can go in the oops pile and pick them up for really, really inexpensive, or just find, even using your regular acrylic paints will work just fine as well. So what I'm going to do to start out, I'm going to use plaster of Paris. Now, initially, when I first learned this method, I thought, oh my gosh, where am I going to find plaster of Paris? It's going to be so much drama. You can find this easily in any hardware store. It's readily available and it's not very expensive. So I'm only going to be mixing a small amount of my chalk paint. So I'm going to just take a 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, and I got these measuring spoons at a thrift store, so I don't have to use the ones I use with my food. And I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of the plaster of Paris into my little container here. And then to start with, I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of just plain old tap water. And we're going to give that a stirring up. And then we're going to be doing 3 tablespoons of whatever paint of your choice. And give that a good stirring up. This should be a really great consistency for a thicker type of a paint, or actually I should say not too thin of a paint. If you like it a little thinner because you want to do a little bit more of a sheer type of a whitewash look, you can do that too just by adding a bit more water. But that, my friends, is the inexpensive and easy way to make chalk paint, and to make a small amount. This is not something that you can save. So this is going to be a one-time use, unlike the chalk paints that you buy ready-made in the stores that you can just keep using over and over. This paint here is something that is just a one-time deal, and then you're just going to throw it away when you're finished. So you don't want to over mix it because it's kind of a drag to throw it out. So all we're going to do now is just go through and paint our piece. Again, whatever color that you choose to do it is perfectly fine. If you want to match it to some decor, another thought I had for doing this was actually to Mod Podge on either some tissue or some napkins or fabric or something like that. So if you want to kind of have some sort of a pattern on it, you can easily do that as well. I'm just going to do it white for the sake of this video. Because I'm going to go a little bit more for a glam look, but again, here you go. It's very easy to change this from a glam look to a farmhouse look simply by what type of embellishments and what kind of trim you use on it. So if you, we're going to be trimming this and making it a little more glam, but you can use things like nautical rope or twine or stuff like that if you would like to give it a little bit more of a farmhouse feel for my little farmhouse style addicts out there. I love the farmhouse style, but it doesn't, it's not what the primary style of my home is, so that's why I mostly show my glam items. So we're going to go ahead and get this all painted, and make sure you paint also your drawers as well. So the beauty of chalk paint is that it dries really quickly too. So pull your drawers out, go ahead and paint those, and we'll be back as soon as this is painted and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and give mine a second coat. Now, you may, after you paint the first coat on, notice that some spots are a little bit rough, especially since we're using the back side of the drawers. Some of the corners might be a little rough. If you want, before you go ahead and even put the first coat of paint, just give it a very, very light sanding. Not much effort at all, just something to break up some of those little loose wood shaving doohickey thingy mabobs. So anyway, I'm going to do my second coat on there and let it dry, and I'll be back. Okay, so if you guys are like me, you are seeing the cuteness potential coming to life here before our eyes. And I know you guys are creative, so I know you're seeing it. So now we get to start doing some of the fun part. We have our little stickers here, our wooden stickers from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using these as my little knob covers. And you may notice too that I didn't actually paint the top parts of my knobs because I feel like it's just the glue will stick much better directly to the wood and the back of my wood stickers. And really it's unnecessary to paint those anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my sticker, but I'm going to remove this little the little foam backing sticker that it has on it, and I'm going to be using my hot glue to attach it directly onto my little knob here. And we're going to do the same with the other two knobs, and then we're going to get to putting the bling on it. So now I'm going to be using these little gemstone stickers. I'm going to start, I think I'm going to use the clear ones. I'm not really sure. This is something when you're decorating things, it's kind of, I don't know for you if it's the same, but I kind of look at it as I go and see what I think. Now, something to note, if you're going to be putting these gemstone stickers around this, they do stick out past the edge, so you won't be able to open your drawer well. So what I'm actually going to be doing is lining my drawer edges with them instead of the box. And over here on my seams is where I'm going to actually put the gemstones directly. So these are adhesive, but I would still recommend using your hot glue to hold them because they're not the best adhesion always, and you do want this to stay on there pretty well, I'm assuming. Now you can also use bling wrap for this, or you can also, if you want to give it a little more of a farmhouse feel, as I mentioned before, you can do some nautical rope on it. Here is where you're going to distinguish your project and kind of make it what you want it to be. If you're enjoying my channel, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and we're going to be looking at these two projects, these two little Valentine projects here in just a few minutes. So let me know, what do you think? Which one's your favorite? Are you more into the pillow, or do you like the box, or do you like both? Now I'm going to go ahead and put it around. I'm going to measure out first so I can break off what I don't need of these, split it off there, because that adhesive sticks them all together, and you kind of want to be ready to be able to just lay them down with your hot glue. All right, let's check them out here.